When you're in covenant relationship with him, you'll pray for something. Something may appear, but you'll say, that ain't it.
Yeah.
I don't hear God. I know that looked like the job. That sound, I know he said, I know he driving what I want him to drive, but that ain't God. I don't hear God in that. I don't feel God. I don't sense God in that, so I'm not going to take that. I know that looks like a blessing, but I don't feel God in that. That's when you're in covenant. So when you're in covenant relationship, it's different for the believer who prays than for the person who is not a believer, not connected to God. Because you got people that say this, watch this. They'll say, I believe in God. I pray to, I believe in God. But just because you believe in God don't mean that you're in covenant with God. Because the only way to be in covenant with God is to accept Jesus. And when you accept Jesus, it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. That's it.
So you just can't say, I'm in covenant with God because I joined the church. I'm in covenant with God because I made Jesus Lord of my life. And now because Jesus is Lord of your life now, you're in a position that even if something comes that looks like a blessing, you're in a position now that you won't be ignorant of the devil's devices. Yes. That's it. So, right. So that's why the argument has always been, well, if he don't hear a sinner's prayer, how does a sinner get saved? So again, that's why we said, don't look at it from the literal sense of hearing. Because when we hear something, it causes us to respond, right? So God ain't responding to someone who's he's not obligated to respond to someone who's not in covenant relationship with him. Now the beauty of it is because the Lord, God wants, he's not willing that any should perish, but that all should come unto repentance. Out of his mercy.
Mercy, that's it.
He will move through those who he is in covenant with. For the individual. But the individual doesn't have a direct response from God. They have a response from God through those who are in covenant with God.
That's it.
So you better thank God. See, that's why the world don't know if it wasn't for the church. Woo! Because God is not responding to the sinner, he's responding to the righteous. But it is through the righteous that he responds to the sinner.
Psalm 66:18 says, if I regard iniquity in my heart, God will not hear me.
God will not hear me.
And so that's the sin.
That's it.
And it's in the heart. So God doesn't hear.
That's it.
He doesn't hear, as you just said. It comes through the other relationship, the covenant relationship.
It comes through the covenant relationship with the righteous that God responds, because he can't respond, because the Bible says that light and darkness
cannot operate in the same.
Dwell. Say, what fellowship has light with darkness? What fellowship has righteousness with unrighteousness? What fellowship does God have with the devil?
That's it.
So God says, I can't come directly to you.
Right.
But I can come through my blood.
Woo! Help us, Lord. Help him.
I can come through the righteous.
Jesus.
Because it's the effectual, fervent
prayers of the righteous that availeth much.
So I can't come directly to you, but I can come. Somebody else, I'm going to put it on somebody else's heart to pray for you.
Right. That's it.
You ain't even got to know them. As a matter of fact, they're on the other side of the globe. And I'm going to put it in their heart to pray for you. They don't know who they're praying for. They know they're praying for somebody, because I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And they know they have to go in prayer. They saw you in the spirit, but they don't know where you are. And they're praying, and they don't know that I put it in their heart to pray for you so that I can get to you. Because I can't come to you.
That's
but when
it.
I see the blood,
Woo,
I can come.
Yes.
But I can't come where there is no blood. So, so I said all of that to say, and I said this earlier, write this down, those who didn't see me on Facebook Live.
Lord.
Something that is key to prayer, and this is the reason why we're going back here in a minute. We're going to do this quickly. Something that is key to the way you start prayer is key.
Right.
The way you start prayer is vital. Well, God, this your boy, you know.
Right.
Thank God for his mercy.
Right.
But God said, I can't come right to you. But I'm going to put it in the heart of somebody to pray for you. Put it in the heart of somebody to come and talk to you, to reason with you. But the way you start prayer, you can't treat God like he's your homie.
Jesus.
And we've been telling people, it's all right, just go to God just as you are.
Just talk.
That's what we say.
Just talk to him. Like you talking to me.
No, you have to humble yourself.
Right.
So, remember, it says we can come boldly. It's talking about the believer.
Right. We can come
come
bold.
boldly to the throne of grace because of the blood. But anybody can't come boldly to the throne of grace. No, we can come boldly because when we come, we're coming boldly and because of the blood, and God sees the blood. And one thing about it, even when a believer gets in pride and try to talk to God, he ain't getting no response.
Come on.
That's the truth.
So, how you start prayer is key. How you start. Jesus, and the first thing he teaches the disciples is how to start prayer. How to start prayer. How you start is critical. It's like, I said it on Facebook like this. It's like the flight. It's like flying. The critical part of flying is the takeoff. Many planes have crashed because of a bad takeoff. Or something happened in the plane going up and breaking it's got to get to a certain place in the atmosphere so that it can be able to fly at the altitude in which it was designed to fly. So that plane has a lot of weight.
Right.
Is that right?
Right.
So it needs a lot of power to get it off the ground. And because it needs a lot of power, it needs a lot of speed. So the critical part of it is getting that joker off the ground and getting it in the air. So the critical part is how you start and how you finish. How you start, how you finish. Now, the starting point is critical because of what we find in the first part of what Jesus teaches the disciples, right? So the first part of this, he teaches them in St. Luke chapter 11. Everybody go there. Again, we're just going back because I can't just go right into some of the stuff that I want to teach right now. I got to take you back and reshape your mind and refocus your mind. So who has it? St. Luke chapter 11. So what does he say? Let's give me the first thing he says.
And it came to pass, on the first verse?
Yeah, go ahead.
And it came to pass that as he was praying in a certain place, when he ceased, one of his disciples said unto him, Lord, teach us to pray, as John also taught his disciples.
Stop. It says he was praying in a certain place. Somebody say location.
Location.
How you
Right.
start and where you start is critical. That Jesus got into a place of seclusion.
Right.
Jesus would do this, y'all. This is what Jesus would do. You stay right here. Y'all stay there. And he'd go somewhere and pray. Why would he do that? Because sometimes, depending upon what's going on in you,
That's it.
what's on your mind,
That's it. Might jump on, get him mad. Distract me.
What's coming from you, it can hinder and affect my prayers.
Yep.
Right.
You know, have you ever tried to pray
Yep.
around other people?
Yes, sir. Come on.
Have you ever noticed you can be in a certain company and you can pray with other people and you pray effortless and there's a flow, but then when you get in the company of
It's
other
a
people,
struggle.
you can't pray right.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever had that?
Yeah.
When you get in the presence of people whose spirit right now is enlarged and open and everybody is pushing forth, you can pray. And it's like in those circles, it's like you pray effortlessly. It's like it's no struggle. But you get around certain people who ain't trying to start right. They don't know how to start. They don't know how to start prayer. And it's like you trying hard to take off. You trying to get off the ground. You trying to get going. You trying to get some momentum, and you can't get it because you're around people who don't know how to start prayer.
Jesus. That's it. That is it.
Whether y'all believe it or not, with the elders is one of the things I used to love about the elders. Back in the days, they knew how to get down on their knees and how to start. They knew how to start.
That's
And
it.
they knew how to finish.
That's it.
They knew how to start. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, know that stuff took us through. Thank God for the shine on me.
Yes, God.
Thank God for the lighthouse. Hello, somebody. Thank God because they knew how to start.
Dr. Watt.
And without the deeper knowledge of how to hallow his name, they hallowed his name through Dr. Watts.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
They didn't go
Yeah.
right in, y'all better come on. They didn't go right into petitioning. They started by hallowing his name.
That's it.
Right. I stretch my hand to thee. And they started out, and they were hallowing his name. They didn't even, a lot of them didn't know it.
They know the
knew it in their
words. They
spirit.
know the
Their spirit
words.
man knew it, but they didn't know it. And we make fun of them, but they knew how to hallow his name, and they knew how to get a prayer through.
Woo,
Because they
Jesus.
knew how to start.
And linger. Like, that's it.
They knew how to start, but we've gotten so modern. We
Right.
so technical now. We so deep now. So many of us, we got all that, but we don't know how to start. We don't know how to start, but they knew how to hallow his name. And they hallowed his name. They done it through Dr. Watts. Thank God for them Dr. Watts. I don't care what y'all say.
You hear
Dr.
me?
Watts still move
You
me
hear
if you
me?
sang them
You
right.
hear me?
They still move me if you sang them right. Praise God. So, go ahead. So read.
And he said unto them, when ye pray, say, Our Father, which art in heaven.
Our Father, which art in heaven.
Direction.
Say, our Father,
Our Father.
which art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name, your name.
Your name.
Specific.
Right.
It's
Right.
a specific focus, a specific place, speaking to a specific God. Why is Jesus saying hallow his name? That must mean that you can pray and your prayers can be heard by other entities.
Call his name. Right. Set on prayer.
My God.
But there is a law in the heavens that the enemy, watch this, he can't stop your prayers when you hallow God's name, but he can try to delay it.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
He can try and he can only try and delay by trying to disrupt some stuff, because the process of delay is to get you to deny. Oh, let me say that again. The purpose of delay is to get you to deny. That's why he's trying to delay some stuff. That's why even when Daniel prayed, there was an angelic response, but there was delay because of angelic interference. Demonic interference. And the devil comes to interfere so that he can get you to deny. God ain't gonna do it for me. I prayed for it, ain't happened yet, but he's not gonna do it for me.
Right. You done canceled
stop
it out.
praying.
Right.
You've heard people tell you if you pray about it once, don't keep praying about it.
Say it again.
Because that says you ain't got no faith. The devil is a lie.
All the way.
You keep praying until your spiritual overwhelm your natural.
Alignment. That's it. That's it. That's it.
You keep praying until your spirit, no
That's
matter
it.
what your flesh says, your spirit is greater now than your natural.
Right.
So Jesus did it 3 times.
25 years, but I believe you guys.
Come on. Jesus had to go back. He went back 3 times. If it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Go to the disciples, they sleep. He go back because he ain't got what he need. He ain't strong enough. He can't handle Calvary. So he goes back again.
Back again. Come on.
So what you telling me, Jesus didn't have no faith?
Right.
Right.
Come on, Apostle.
No, Jesus understood. He said the spirit is willing, but the flesh is
Flesh.
weak. He said my flesh can't endure it. My spirit is willing to go through it, but my flesh can't endure it. So I need my spirit to overwhelm my flesh so that my flesh can take it because my spirit is in control.
That's it.
My flesh fighting it. My flesh fighting Calvary.
That's it.
My spirit know it's got to go, but my spirit has got to bring my flesh into subjection.
It's the subjection. That's it. Under
So in
control.
praying, just understand prayer is going to be a struggle because your flesh, that's why we've made fasting a part of praying because your spirit has to overwhelm your natural. It's got to tell your flesh to behave. It's got to tell your flesh to shut up.
Shut it up.
Yes.
The flesh says, oh, I'm hungry. Shut up. Shut it up. Right? So, or go to sleep. That's right. So, 'cause I know that was my remedy. I say I'm too hungry. I'm going to sleep. Anybody? I'm too hungry.
Right, like let me go to
I'm
bed.
going to sleep. I know how to deal with this. I go to sleep. Y'all say, I know how to make you get some rest. I know how to make you get some rest. So he says, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Right?
Yes.
Thy name is hallowed. Thy name is set apart.
It don't start over. It continues.
Your name, what does he set this name apart for? Why is his name hallowed? It's got to be some other names. It's got to be
Right,
some other,
right.
It's got to be some other entities.
Uh-huh.
Why is Jesus saying hallow his name? Hallow means holy. Holy means set apart. It's high above. It's above every name. There's got to be some other names.
Right. Right.
There's got to be some other spirits.
Right.
So he's saying hallow, the way you start prayer is by hallowing the name of the Lord. Because you can't be calling on Allah.
Come on.
Uh-huh. A
You can't
Buddha.
be calling on Baal. You can't be calling on the God of the universe. He know he has a name.
Right.
He know he's the universe, huh?
And his name is Jesus.
That's that.
So you hallow the name of the Lord, Yahweh or Yahshua. You hallow his name. Now, the way I do it, I call him by the name in the scriptures, which is Yahweh. Or you can call him by the name that he gave to Moses. Yahweh.
Uh-huh.
You call it, you use all, and remember, I told you all to use, to go through your, you can go through, you can look it up online, you can look it
Right.
up on the internet, all the covenant names of the Lord. All you gotta do is type in covenant names of the Lord,
Yep.
covenant names of God, and it will give you all of the covenant names of God. And incorporate that in the first part of your prayer. I'm trying to teach
Right.
you something, because how you start is going to determine how you finish. As a matter of fact, you'll get so caught up till
That takes us 15 minutes.
That right.
you'll get so caught up in hallowing his name by calling. God loves hearing that stuff. Oh, he loves, not that God is stuck on himself, but he loves when you call him by all of the covenant names. Come on, don't think that God is, don't think that a part of us isn't connected to God,
Right.
or part of God is not connected to us. Y'all know y'all love hearing all them sweet names.
Right. Yes, we do. Yep.
They had a song, Sugar Pie Honey Bunch. Y'all know y'all love hearing all them sweet names, all them names that make you baby, sweetheart, honey. You love hearing all. God loves hearing that stuff.
Teach it from here.
He loves hearing us give, and what it is, it's giving honor.
Honor and reverence
It's
to
giving
him.
honor to his
Yes.
glory.
Yes.
He loves for us to give honor to his name, because all it does, watch this, it really ain't for God, it's for you.
It's for me. Yeah.
He is self-sufficient, self-sustaining. He doesn't need to hear it to make him feel good. He's trying to teach us the way to draw my glory is by calling my name.
That's
He's trying to teach us how to gain more glory. So the way you start is important. Start by hallowing his name, by putting to practice a time of sin. You want to know why it's called prayer structures? Because sometimes you get so caught up in calling his name, you never get a chance to ask for anything.
That's it.
And because so you get through, you didn't even get a chance to petition. He says, I already know the desires of your heart. I already know what you wanted. Because you spend so much time just worshiping me and calling my name. Before you get up off the floor, I've already taken care of the problem.
Yes.
That's
And
it.
you didn't even get a chance to petition or ask him for anything, because you spent your whole prayer time just hallowing his name.
Jesus.
So you never even get a chance to petition. Why?
Yes, sir.
Because you spend so much time. Lord, I just love your name.
Whispering sweet somethings in his ear.
Come on.
How y'all know we sing the song, how I love calling your name. I just spend time calling your name. I just love calling your name. You know, we say it religiously, but do you really mean it? Do you really love calling his name? Well, I ain't even got time to petition and ask you for anything. I just love the sweetness of your name. And every time I think about when I call your name, how you respond to me.
Yeah.
Right? You have to know it. It's like if you called your husband or your wife by a certain name and you got a certain response from them, wouldn't you keep calling them that? If you called him king and he went in his wallet every time and put out shopping money, wouldn't you keep calling him king? You're like, oh, king. Hello, king. Hello, king. Well, king. Why? Because that's what happens when you hollow his name. He moves, he responds.
That's it. That's it.
So God's
That's
gonna teach
it.
us how the starting part is so important. I'm telling you, it's the critical part of prayer is first learning how to hollow his name and spending time in just making it a practice of calling him by the covenant names that is biblically sound.
That's it. That's it.
Who should I tell them that sent me? Tell them I am that I am. I'm El Shaddai.
Yes.
I'm Elohim.
Yes.
I'm Jehovah.
Yes.
I'm Adonai.
Yes, God.
So when you start calling him by all of these covenant names, all of these names that he reveals himself as, these aren't names we made up or people made up about him. These are the names that he revealed himself as. All right? So how you start? Now, I shared this with Prophetess. She got the benefit of getting this before y'all got here. Part of the problem with us is this, and this is the reason why what we do is this. The reason why the way we start and the way we finish is so important, because most of us, the reason why we can't pull back layers in prayer, we can't pull back layers is because when we start praying, we're thinking about time.
That's it.
We're thinking about, it's just like even with church. What time church start?
What time is over? How long you gonna be
What time
there?
is it over? So right away, you come in the doors. Watch this. You come in the doors with a time mentality, trying to function in eternity. Help me, Holy Spirit. You're trying to get a eternal or a divine response from a God that is not bound by time. You're trying to operate from an eternal perspective, but you have a time mentality. But one of the things that's so important for you, even in praise and worship and prayer, because prayer is really worship.
Right. Right.
That's all. Prayer is just an intricate part of worship. Write it down. Prayer is an intricate part of worship.
That's it.
How you start
That's it. That's
is
it.
going to determine how you finish. Most people don't know how to finish because they don't know how to start. So here it is. God wants us to get rid of the time zone, because we got a time zone. We have to remove the time zone, because you cannot operate in eternity in a time zone. What you have to do is, watch this, you have to allot God a space in time for eternity to invade time. You need a space. Watch this. You can determine how big that space is. Watch this. Have you ever done this? And I'm very good for this. I got 15 minutes. I'm going to give these 15 minutes right here in prayer. And I get so caught up. And the next thing I know, because when I stepped into the time that I allotted, when I stepped into it, I stepped out of time and into eternity, and I got lost in eternity. And when I came out of eternity, it wasn't 15 minutes later. It was an hour later.
Right. Yes, sir.
But if I try and go into that with a time zone, I'm never gonna really reach the eternal place. So what I'm revealing to you all is this: stop putting God in your time zone.
That's it.
You need to start allotting a space in time, allotting a space in time for eternity. Let me say that again till y'all catch it. You need a space in time for eternity. You're saying, just like we say, service starts at 10:30, and we got the time zone, but not the eternal invasion. So we're trying to say, God, show up in this time, and not trying to say, God, take us out of time and into eternity.
Yeah.
Because if we say that, we're not worried about the time. So God's trying to take us out of this time zone, this time mentality, and bring us into a place where we allot space for eternity to invade time. And now we're not worried about it, because so what happens with us is you got folk coming here, they mind on the ball game, saying, "Hope Pastor Eric get through preaching so I can get home." You know, they got their mind on other things, and so you're trying to get an eternal response with a time mentality.
Wow.
And you're trying to put God on your clock, and God said, "I can't operate like that.
That's
'Cause I'm
it.
operating from eternity, and my eternity can't invade time as long as you're in control."
Woo.
You have to lose control so that God can gain control.
And gain control. That's it.
But as long as you're in control, God will never be able to get control of your space. God. So you allow him space for eternity to overwhelm time. And now you'll be like Moses. You was on the mountain for 40 days and you thought you had just got there.
Yes, sir.
Because you allowed God some space. How much space have you given him? How much space do we give him? I ain't gonna say time. How much space do we give him?
Wow.
Let's get rid of the time zone. How much space have you given God? God, you got all this, God. Just take it right now, all this. I'm stepping into eternity. I'm giving you all this space. Do what you want to do. How much space do you give him? Stop giving him time, give him space. I like that.
I like that. That's it.
Stop giving God time and give him space. Because when you give him space, you give eternity operation. All right? So, y'all remember, I'm getting back in the vein of this, because there's some things that's got to come out of the spirit that I have not studied. And the only way I can do that, I got to get back in the vein of what I was teaching before we had the break. All right? So, how you start prayer is important. Y'all hear me? Why am I saying this? You can take an airplane that has not been made like Southwest. It doesn't have all of the real expensive parts in it. Doesn't have all doesn't have all the quality parts. That plane can fly. That plane can get off the ground. But that plane, the chances of that plane's lasting, its ability to last, is not, and you're at more risk. Because you're using parts that is not quality, that's not durable to be able to handle the altitude. And y'all know they do that, right? Y'all know some of the plane crashes has been because they put some faulty parts or some parts that wasn't quality. They were trying to cut costs. And they put some parts in there that were not quality to handle the altitude or the function of what it needed to get off the ground. What am I saying? You can pray the way you've been praying, and you're wondering why you get off the ground, but you can't stay in the air. You get off the ground, but you can't stay in the air because you don't have the quality that you need. So you can pray without first hallowing his name, but you can't stay in the air. And that's what happens with most believers, because we don't know how to start. We'll start praying, and you ever see people, they go strong and hard in the first part, then all of a sudden, they ain't got nothing left. They don't know how to start. If you know how to start, if you learn how to hallow his name, by the time you even get around to petitioning, you built up so much power and so much strength. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to figure out what you're going to say. You are no longer in control.
Right.
And you wondering how other people can pray for 2 and 3 hours, like the people did this weekend over there, out there in Deerfield. How the people prayed as long as they prayed. You wondering how they were able to pray that long. They knew how to hallow his name. They knew how to start.
That's it. That's exactly how they did. That's what they did.
So what am I doing? All I'm doing is taking y'all back to the very first pattern, which unlocked the principle, which unlocked the key, which gave the key. So you got a pattern, a principle, and a key.
Okay.
So the first part of that pattern there is to hallow his name. So what I want you all to do this week is spend this week. Remember, God already told you that this is about you and him this week. This ain't about what apostle instructions. This is about God giving you instructions on past my instructions. Because the more time you spend with him this week, the more you hallow his name, the more you exercise the first principle, because how you start is going to determine how you finish. The more you exercise hallowing his name this week, I'll watch the testimonies come out of this. How many of y'all with me this week? I'm about to hallow his name like the Dickens. I'm telling you. I'm not asking God for anything. Only thing I'm going to do is call on the covenant name. The Bible says, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
That's it.
He's letting you know if you abide under his shadow, he's almighty. So he's got all power. So if he got all the power, then if you're abiding under his shadow, under his protection, guess what? You're covered by all power.
That's it.
So, as I get ready to close, I just wanted to flow back into the first principle. So again, we said that the first thing is location, right? Location. Location deals with a point of focus. When the believers mature in prayer, they get to a place where their prayer life is specific. You're not just praying, God bless me, bless the world, bless mama, bless daddy, amen. You start praying, so when you say mama, you start praying specifically for the things that mama needs. You start praying specifically about the spirit on mama. You start praying about the struggles that mama had. You start praying about the things that mama is believing God for. You start praying specifically because you have a direct focus on something when you pray. So you're not just saying, God bless mama.
Touch her. Right.
Touch her, Lord. You start to tune in to the very things that you need to be praying when you pray. See why prayer is tedious?
Yeah.
And prayer, you really can't pray in a few minutes. Not if you're going to pray strategically and effectively, because it's fervent.
Right.
The effectual fervent. You know what fervent is? You do this, and then I'm going. Fervent, this is what fervent is. Fervent is not this. It's not fervent. You know what fervent is? Father.
Yes.
Lord, I called you today. It's coming from, see, this is the reason why, if you ever want to see a person with a strong prayer life, get around somebody that's going through something. Get around somebody that got some hell going on in their life and watch them pray. When they pray, they're not saying, Lord, I need you.
Right now, God.
It's fervent. It's heartfelt. Because it's coming from a place deep within.
Right.
Not that old religious surface. You know, you're not trying to impress people. When you really get to a fervent prayer, it's coming from a place that you can't even explain.
That you can't even.
You ever been so? You ever prayed to the point where you couldn't say words? You just couldn't do nothing but let out a moan or something.
Right.
It's
Like,
so funny.
oh
Now, I don't know
my
what to
God.
say, but you already know what I'm trying to say.
Jesus.
Because it's coming from a place so deep within that words can't even express it. It's the spirit groaning inside of you.
That's it.
Because you don't know how to pray. You don't know how to pray like that. It's got to come from that kind of place. So fervent, don't be fervent. Yeah, you can't be all, smooth with it. Can't be cute with it. emotions, but it's not.
That's it.
It's your spirit.
That's it.
There is a difference, all right? So, the believer prayer life, the matures in prayer, and they learn how to pray specifically, not general. Identify, again, we talked about identify who you are praying to when you pray, and where you are praying to. It's important, all right? So I'm going to stop there. Any questions, any comments? Very quickly, you got to get out of here.